Getting all the rich.
Toppers of the trenches, kicking those and jumping fences. Toppers of the trenches, kicking those and jumping fences. Toppers of the trenches, kicking those and jumping fences. Counting those, pushing hoes, and fucking niggas bitches. Toppers of the trenches, kicking those and jumping fences. Toppers of the trenches.
Countdown was definitely okay because we live, ain't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, topics of the trenches, man. Be love, Bankroll, be love, however you want to call it.
Just jazz, of course.
Fatboy Fresh, we checking in today. We got Miss Janice and we got Hope. So we just want to bring like awareness to the people, especially like in the Milwaukee area. Some insights might be blindsided because when I seen this story, I was touched by it. I'm like, okay, I seen it on the news, but like I didn't know what was going on because I don't really watch the news. I don't even really watch cable, to be honest. Only way you really can catch my attention through social media, I guess, is the age frame that we in now. But I don't really watch the news personally. My grandma and my mom, they watch the news. Me personally, I didn't grow up watching the news. I didn't really care for it. But when I seen that's why I asked you, like, because when you do promotions, what it do is it show your friends list and they friends list and they friends list, and it's just a domino effect for people to bring awareness of what happened, et cetera, et cetera. So I guess my question is, we can start off by going off like what your son was known for and who he was as a person, like growing up with him.
Bobby Brown is his name. He was 27 years old. He played sports. He played blacktop all through school.
Did he play in high school?
He played in high school at Pulaski.
Okay. Pulaski.
And
what year was he in Pulaski?
It would have been what, 2013, right? Or what else?
2012.
Okay.
And he was just a popular guy, you know. We grew up in a middle class area and he knew everybody. I lived in the house for 22 years.
Okay.
You know, he was just friendly. He was the only boy at the time at Pulaski with a car. I made sure my son drove a nice vehicle. And I just kept him fly all the time. So he stood out.
As you should.
He was my only son.
Was he an only child or just the only son?
No, he's just my only son.
Oh.
I have two girls that are older and they would spoil him too. So he was a spoiled boy, and I'm glad I spoiled him. I gave him everything he wanted. You know, if he wanted Gucci outfit, I bought it for him. I made sure he had, he didn't have to go and do anything illegal because he had a mom that provided.
Right.
An educated mom.
And I guess like sometimes as boys, we get hard headed. Cause I know growing up, my mom, I gave her hell, like for no reason. I ain't even have a reason to. Now when I got older, I'm like, Mom, I appreciate you for teaching me how to be a man. Like mama and son relationship is real like different. Like I think that's stronger than the daddy-daughter relationship.
It was.
For sure. Like me and my mama like this. Like you can't even talk to my mama crazy because I'm gonna get on that.
And that's how he was.
That's good though. I feel like the upbringing, especially with our men, like growing up as a man, we need our mamas, like especially strong black mamas. Like I think they discredited that whole situation. Like my dad, prime example, right now, he crying at me like all his problems. I'm like, well, my mom was here before you was here, and that's all I knew. Shout out to moms though for making me who I am. But so you say his name was Bobby Brown, and I didn't know him personally, but like today when I posted the flyer, a lot of people knew who he was. I'm gonna be honest.
He was very popular.
Like plenty of people like, how you know, bro? I'm like, I don't really know him. I ain't gonna be honest. I never met him, nothing like that. But from what I was hearing from people, did speak positivity on him.
Yeah, definitely.
They did trying to get light on him for real, for real.
Well, he also, tapped into music. He was, you know,
I saw you post his music.
Oh, he did?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I
Me
have
and bro
a,
do music. Like,
I have a.
Well,
ne-
he wasn't a rapper. He didn't want to be a rapper.
He,
wants to be an
he
artist.
didn't.
There's a way to express himself.
Not really,
Talk to
in a
him.
way. I feel like he did it
to express
just to
yourself.
be doing something at the time.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
he did it good. He was good at it if that's something he wanted to do. But he wasn't. I wouldn't consider him like wanted to be a rapper. But he made some songs.
What happened was my nephew went to MATC, and my son went to MATC. So he was popular because he went to MATC,
Right.
MATC too, as
Mhm.
well. And what happened was my nephew finished school for music, and he has a studio.
Oh, wow.
And so my son introduced some of the guys that he know to his studio,
Mhm.
and they would ask by bars, and he would be shy, but then he started flowing.
Okay.
So yeah,
Did you know what studio he went to?
it was my my nephew.
Oh, he had his house.
No, he has a studio, a real studio.
What's he called?
They call him Yancy
I
on
see.
his Facebook page,
Okay.
but he's written for people.
Okay.
But you know, I have something. My son was he was
Yeah.
a funny person. You know, I have videos of him just acting real goofy, dancing when he get a pair of Gucci shoes or something like that. you
Fun
know,
spirit, yeah.
just free spirit.
Right.
I remember one day he bought me a puppy, and I had already had a puppy, and he bought me a pit bull puppy.
Mm.
You know, Bobby loved me. He always stuff for me. You know, he showed me that he appreciated me, and he told me. We had a very tight bond, and this is why I'm still grieving.
I can
And-
tell. I understand.
And I'm gonna tell you something. You know, the worst thing for a mother is to lose a child, and so I want justice.
Yeah, absolutely. He did have a child.
He has a 5-year-old son that'll be 6 years old Tuesday.
What's his son's name as well?
His name is the same as his,
Okay. So yeah,
and
Junior.
they were very close.
Okay.
He had his son with him all the time.
Now, I like to piggyback off that too because like my cousin, Lil Chevy, he was like 15. He died at a Pulaski game, and like his mama, she can't take it. Like she grieving real bad. Like I ain't never seen her act like that, and I can't understand her pain because I haven't lost my daughter and been in a situation like that. So when she grieves like that, I just let her be because I'm on the outside looking in. That could be different. Like everybody grieves different. But I feel like when you in the grieving process, you definitely like venting is good for you. Me personally, what I experienced, I lost my stepdaddy when I was like 8, and I seen him get killed. So like that made me be a man. I respected my mama because I knew what she went through, and that was her husband. Like it was crazy. But feeling that pain, losing a kid, grieving is gonna be like difficult for you. Like, what do you do daily? Like, do you meditate? Do you pray a lot?
I pray a lot. I pray every day. That's why I know I'm gonna get justice for my son.
You
You
know.
know, because you know, God is not gonna allow. You know, my thing of it is this: what's done in the dirt comes to light.
Absolutely.
What goes around comes around. Everybody has to answer to a higher power.
Right.
You can't just walk around thinking that you're gonna get away with murder because you're
Right.
not.
Yeah. I talked to my auntie last night. She lost her son, my cousin Mario, back in November. And, you know, kind of talked to her, you know, she was just leaving. She's a Jehovah's Witness, so she was just leaving the Kingdom Hall. And, you know, in so many words, she pretty much said the same thing to me exactly last night. So that's kind of giving me chills to, you know, hear you say, because, you know, I'm at your space. I know the pain that you're going through because every time I talk to my auntie, I see the same look on her. So I know, you know, it's not an easy process. And, you know, kind of going into, I'm sorry, you know, this bond here, he got here and stepped in with us too. But kind of going into it, can you kind of tell us, you know, when the accident happened and just kind of go into detail of what you can speak on, at least for us.
Okay, because we have attorney representation, we can only speak on certain things. I had talked to my son maybe an hour before he died, and in the conversation, something put it in my spirit to call him, because I call him all day. When you have a son living in Wisconsin, you have to check on your child,
Absolutely.
because the devil is busy. I mean, you got so many things going in Milwaukee, that young men are not living their full potential, to be 30 years old. And you just have to check on your son. So I called him. I was like, Bobby, what you doing? He's like, nothing, ready to go get a part for my car, because I gave him a Mercedes truck. And I guess somebody had dashed the mirror. And I said, well, Saturday they're having a fundraiser at the Humane Society. And I said, I need you to go with me because I have 4 dogs. And he said, Ma, are you serious? He said, don't try to walk off 4 dogs by yourself. He said, because I can't go because Versace is wild.
What's the dog name, Versace?
My standard poodle, his name is Versace.
Okay.
So, we started in Versace. This is what that following. And he knew that we had made plans to go shopping in Chicago, the Gucci stores and the Versace stores that following weekend, to get him something for Father's Day, but we never made it because he was an excellent father.
You know what? That's crazy. I gotta apologize to my mom once I'm done. So too much. I'm like, Mom, what do you need? But I understand, like, a black man in Milwaukee. I get it now. Now that it just came out your mouth, I'm gonna apologize to. I'm out of order because my mama check on me every 20 minutes. What you doing, son? You good? Where you at? Who you with? I'm like, Mom, I'm finna be 30.
And
What's
you
going
should
on?
tell her.
She's just a concerned parent. I get it. So now that I seen it firsthand from OG status, I get it. Because it's growing up in Milwaukee, especially as a black man, though, like we already got a shoulder on our hand being black. They feel like we too aggressive. And the police just mess with us. Like, I'm gonna give you a situation I went through. My man's right here. We went to protest when it was starting up. Now I got my CCWs. I take it everywhere I go. That day, and I was geeked to go. I'm like, I just want to see the experience so I can tell my baby like what I went through and what I seen when I get older. We do it. Pick it up. The police chase me. I'm to my literally 30 police. And I ain't give a hell. I said I did nothing wrong, but I just knew being a black man and them seeing that, they was gonna judge me. That man right there recorded. Check his wallet. If it wasn't for him, they probably would have killed me for real. They probably would have killed me because I wouldn't have had nobody to record and look at stuff. These phones is different because it kind of saves stuff. But if it wasn't for him, I probably would have been killed. And they took me to jail, made me pay a bond. I ain't did nothing wrong.
It's crazy that you say that because I think that whenever there's an incident, the police phone out because my the video, they try to keep it from me. Even off store. Well, I end up asking the lady for the video 4 times, but they were just trying to really basically they obstructed justice. They stopped the grieving mother from finding out what happened, but I actually found out what happened. And it was a cover up. I was there when the news reporters was out there. The one of the detectives ran over there and told them what to say. They knew I was the mother out there. The news reporter never said anything to me. I was. So
they never acknowledged you at all.
I was there before they were there.
That's crazy.
And they never spoke to you.
They never spoke to me.
Oh.
And I just want to give you your flowers too. Like, I definitely want to give you flowers because you educated. You made that be known. Like, I feel like as black people, mine is a terrible thing to waste. And you spoke that shit well. Like, the letter you even wrote, that was well thought of. I said, okay, I like it. I think black women don't get enough credit, especially when they go to school, because Well, I went to college, but I didn't graduate or get a degree or nothing like that. And I don't knock people that do it, but you did a damn good job on that letter.
You know, my thing of it is this, you know, we are always stereotyped to be illiterate.
Right.
And I feel like they underestimated me
They
when they
did.
killed my son.
Absolutely.
I am going to get justice for my son. And I am going to make sure that this video hits every news station there is. It will be on YouTube at a couple of those prominent video features. It's going to be on YouTube, you know, so whatever the police is hiding is going to come to light. You cannot hide dirt forever. And my son didn't deserve that. You know, whoever this guy is, Cardenas, that killed my son, he needs to be brought forward for questioning.
Right.
The DOJ needs to step in. Senators, representatives, there is a election coming up, and we need justice for my son. It's time for y'all to step up.
Yes, it is, because you don't let a non-United States citizen come over here and kill a United States citizen
Right.
and get away with something, and just let them be over here and freely walk away. We can't go to someone else and do something
Right.
like that. Should not even done. The way that they handled this whole case situation was was not legal.
It makes me think working with them.
And what's crazy is that, like Brittany Grinder,
But question though, with it, because so he wasn't a citizen of the U.S.
He's not a United States citizen. He doesn't even have a green card to be over here. He doesn't even have a driver license.
I
And
seen
that's
that
what I
as
was
well.
going to ask. Cause I seen that in the video too. I didn't know if I heard it correctly or like what. So he doesn't have a license at all.
No.
Because I know he said something about Mexico in the video, but like even that
But we
wouldn't
all
be valid
know if
here
you-
though, right?
Over here on a green card, they give you an ID.
Most
And if you
definitely.
have a driver's license from Mexico, they would have gave you would have to get a driver's license for over here too.
Okay.
When you come over here, you have to have a license and everything. You can't just come over here without taking the step of getting an actual legal green card.
But what I don't understand is how did they put a driver's license on the accident report saying that he had a driver's license and he didn't?
Because he
That's crazy.
said to the police he didn't in the
Right.
video.
Exactly.
But on
But on the police report they lied.
They lied.
Just like they lied and said that it was my son's fault.
And he's car 2 on the report, which is always the car that isn't at fault in the situation. I found that out.
He
from
was
that
never even
report.
given a ticket. They didn't take him downtown, and that baffles me because they took him to 5th District. They didn't. Why did they take him to the hospital? There's a nurse and a lab downtown. They use LabCorp
Okay.
Facts.
at the county jail.
County, you can get your driver's check that at the county.
There are
That's
nurses.
why
I have
the
friends that are
county-
nurses.
At the jail. So
So-
you had no reason to ever take him to a hospital or nothing.
No.
because anything that he needs to be
If
checked
anybody
out
should have
could
been
have
going
been
to
in
the
the
hospital,
facility.
Bobby Brown should have
They
been
should
going.
have. They should
And
rush
then
my son to the
It
hospital.
showed that he was drunk on it too. I'm like, what the hell?
He
So
had.
was
He
drunk
had.
like that.
Yeah. He had.
He stated in his statement that he was drinking at 10 in the morning.
Wait. So this man was illegal and no license and had alcohol in his system.
And he
and
killed
caused
somebody.
an accident, killed somebody.
If
You
it
tell me
was
he
my
never even got a
son,
ticket
he
for
would
the
have
man?
been
He would have been under the jail.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Under the jail.
Under the jail. So you know what? The DA, the head DA,
Full of shit.
he needs to come forward. We need to talk about this
how-
because it was many hands on that police report.
Right.
That police report went through several hands and it had to be approved by several people.
Facts.
So I need to, everybody who was involved in this needs to be accountable,
Yeah.
needs to be held accountable. So
Facts. And that's why I got a lot of respect
But
for
first
Vaughn.
and foremost, I just feel like you should never treat. I'm gonna keep saying it
Right.
because I just feel like it's so wrong that they treat a
A
United
race
States
car.
citizen like shit.
Race
Like,
car.
and it should not never be like that because,
Yeah,
like I said, we
evidence.
can
You know-
never go to nobody else's country and do things like that and just get away with it.
Absolutely.
He
Like,
laid up in the hospital as if he was
Innocent.
comfortable.
Like he was innocent.
He act like he was not worried. That's
He
why I
didn't
said.
have
So
remorse
what
at all.
were y'all following my son? You know, if you look at the accident, it looked like you hit him on purpose.
Dude,
You know, because when he came around that corner, he sped up. He sped up. So, you know, I want a thorough investigation of the police investigation.
And I did.
30 police outside. 5th and 7th district.
That's ridiculous.
What was 7th
What the
district doing over there?
At a car accident.
At a car accident.
I ain't never heard it.
We took the accident at home.
There was one officer in particular that harassed my son, and his picture is on that video. And he was at the accident.
Say his name. Yeah. I'm saying that.
she might not be able to.
Okay.
Believe it.
You can zoom in on.
Go here, Wayne.
So this is the main show right here.
Honestly,
Sorry, y'all. Somebody wanted to say.
So I want to jump in with a couple of things because one, I can't remember who it was that reached out to me, but I had somehow randomly saw the video on Facebook and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, once I watched it and saw all of what y'all put together, I'm like, that's definitely crazy. But then somebody reached out to me, and that was the night that we were going for the change of the standard operating procedure meeting at the FPC. So I told them to just have you come there, and we didn't even connect, but just when you spoke and made it all part of the whole collective thing. Because this is the thing, like right now we're going through the thing with the Republicans where they're holding the city hostage essentially and really trying to force us to spend more money on police, put police back in the schools, give the power that the Fire and Police Commission has over the police department back to the actual police.
No,
And then
that shouldn't happen.
and these are things that they are
They were just
stipulated to give Milwaukee money because we about to essentially go bankrupt because the police make so much money and we have to pay for their pensions. They already get over 50% of our city budget. They steady want to hire more and more and more police, put them more and more in the schools, which means we're going to have to pay more and more, which is going to continue to add to the debt for the
Instead of
city.
creating jobs for our kids.
But then nobody wants to talk about this stuff. So yeah, we talk about police shootings, we talk about in custody deaths, but what we leave out of the conversation a lot of times is how they just don't do their job or how they do their job and this stuff happens. You know what I mean? There is no reason. And when you talk about, usually when you see a police shooting or something to do with the police, that's how you can tell what it is because you see so many of them.
They
Right,
target
right.
they target our sons.
So for you to see that many at an accident, we all see, they don't even stop at accidents normally no more.
No, they don't.
maybe a
So
couple
for you to
officers.
see that many from two different districts, you know it has to be something to that.
Oh, what's up? Red flag.
Now, I don't know if this person, it could be because we do have people make jokes about it. But when we talk about confidential informants, we talk about all these different things. Also, it could be related to somebody who's somebody, which is maybe a reason why. Because truth be told, our former chief Morales, his brother was definitely back and forth in the system in jail, catching cases and getting out. that wasn't talked
Well,
about. They hid that
there
very well
was a
too.
Cardenas on the police force who sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl.
They go to jail for any and everything now, whether it's sexual assaults, DVs, and that is the stuff they won't talk about when they want us to hold the police department so high, but they won't acknowledge that this stuff happens. That those people are just as much. I don't even want to say the word criminal, but they do wrong shit too. But they don't want to acknowledge that, and it's a slap in the face to families and victims who go through stuff like this.
Absolutely.
My thing of it is this. The police department always say we want our police to be safe and come home safe. Well, we want our kids to come home safe too.
Amen. We
Give us the same respect as mothers and fathers. We want our sons, our daughters to come home safe.
And you talk about your son wasn't doing nothing wrong, just going about his everyday life, trying to get to where he was trying to get. So it ain't like, some of these cases where you like, man, you running with a pistol and you done shot 3 people or something like that. No, this is somebody who just trying to get from point A to point B and something like this happen.
Right.
And you do them like that. You know what I mean?
But that just means you just can't trust the system. And that's what's messed up. Because like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it, the way Bobby was treated, he should have never been
treated like that.
He's
Right.
a United States citizen, and the person that killed him was not. You don't.
That's
you
why-
don't treat
that's why
nobody
it
like
make
that,
me
especially
feel-
when the person is over here illegal. He's not even supposed to be over here.
That's why I
The
think
police don't want to do their job. They don't
They
want
don't.
to do their jobs. Point blank. Period. If either it's somebody that they know, confidential informant, or they simply don't want to do their job. But at the end of the day, you don't do that. You don't do that to somebody, family. He had a son.
Right.
He had a stepdaughter.
well, they didn't care when I went to internal affairs. When my son got killed, not one detective came to me or came to my house until I filed a complaint with the internal affairs. And when he reached out to me, he wanted me to meet with him. I told him, your rank is not high enough. You're a lieutenant. I want to speak to the police chief. He told me that wasn't going to happen. And the case was closed.
Wow, that's rude as hell. So I got a question. How did y'all kind of know that was people broadcasting it when that happened?
I got a
By the
call.
scene.
I was at work and I
Okay.
got a call. In fact, I was working close by at a clinic and I got a call from my stepdaughter and she lived in Atlanta.
Okay.
And her uncle, my son uncle, lived around the corner and he heard the crash.
Okay.
And that's how I was there
Okay.
so fast. And when she called me, she said Bobby wasn't responding. So, I got there as fast as I could. But I feel that the media downplayed the whole situation. I was there, as a mother on the scene. And they didn't say his name on the news. They didn't say
Wow.
that the relatives had been contacted. So why did the police tell them not to why didn't the police tell them that we were there?
Right, to
Right.
speak to you.
It was a cover up.
That's weird.
And the uncle was going hard for him. He had the white shirt on.
Yep.
He was going hard for him. If you look at that video, he like, I'm coming up over these tapes. Y'all finna tell me something. And that's, I feel like
No.
rude as hell.
And I think it should be a law passed when a kid is dying on the scene. The parents should be able to, say their last words to their child.
Right.
Most definitely.
They should be able to identify their child on the scene without
Most definitely.
it being all the chaos, all the no, you can't
Yeah.
see. Because if it was one of their child, they're gonna identify their
Exactly.
child. They're gonna get over those tapes. Point blank period.
So you never got a chance at all to identify him?
No.
That's shit crazy.
Did they
We didn't
ever-
Well,
even-
one of the officers told me that they didn't even know if he was pronounced deceased or not. So
We saw
they had
that.
the bag on
Yeah,
him.
that's
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
saw that.
And this is one thing that I've had conversation and honestly there's been some start towards change on that, because one thing that, and to be honest, it's to a point me and my team or like, because it's such an experience even for us, and it ain't even our person, but to go there to assist, have to deal with families, have broken these conversations.
But I have witnessed how the police us when our kids on the street.
Mhm.
It was a boy, about about 3-4 years ago was killed across the street from the school, and they never called the paramedics.
Wow.
And it was like 30 cops out there. They never called the paramedics. They let that boy lay out there and bleed to death and die. So this is what they do to our kids. They let us lay out there and die. If I showed you the other video that I have, it was like 3 or 4 police cars just went by. The paramedics went by. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, we saw what happened on 91st too, like how they treated dude body.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Drug him.
All that stuff. Like it's no respect. And I don't care what's going on. You do not treat somebody's body like that. It's clear when somebody is not even conscious, let alone alive, and you doing all that. It's past the point of safety. You know this person can't do nothing back to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, but just the point that you have to have a conversation or tell somebody to treat people human, whether they dead or alive, is a problem.
It's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Especially
we just
when these are supposed to be people that you supposed to
Serve
feel
and protect.
that's supposed to serve and protect.
And we
supposed
pay
to
their
stay
salaries.
around. Like
We pay the police salaries. And I really do feel that, we shouldn't be putting no more money into their little union or whatever. We should, because they're not doing their job.
that's why they got to get rid of qualified immunity. New York is, I think, the only place that's even talking about it.
Can you
But
explain it a
if-
little bit?
so- The police have their own constitution, so to speak. Plus, they have a union that represents them, so they have extra rights on top of rights that a regular person don't have. For instance, even what happened with like Mattioli, when they're, it's almost like not a difference between when they're on duty and off duty. So they could do stuff off duty and still get represented when they do something wrong as if they were on duty, which I believe there shouldn't be. Can't sue
Absolutely
them if they do something directly. You have to sue the department, which is money that come from us as taxpayers. And so there's no incentive for them not to do wrong shit because the money don't come out their pocket and they not going to jail. So if, qualified immunity was to end, which essentially is their stonewall to say, I'm not liable, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to sue the department versus something happening to me or the money coming from their pension, their budget, etc. It gives no incentive. Now you start taking money from them and they start losing their house. And this is one of the crazy things. I had conversations with the Republicans about this, right? And one of the first things that, it all plays into race. Because at the end of the day, when they see the police, they see themselves because predominantly they're white people.
Right.
And so I'm talking to a white person. I'm explaining to them cases like this. And his response was, well, I don't like to see nobody lose their house. Well, somebody lost their fucking life.
Right.
What the
Right.
fuck does their house mean to me?
Exactly.
What does they
They-
money and all that stuff mean? But they don't want to
They
take
need to
nothing
be held
from them.
accountable.
You know what I mean?
So when the police is suspended, what that basically saying? Like they get no
They
pay?
still
Or,
get paid.
No, they usually automatically
Wow.
get paid with pay unless it's something so drastic to where they make a decision not to pay them. But again,
That's
the union
ridiculous.
is the craziest thing because it prevents even like if the chief wanted to just fire people for wrong, he can't do it because the union is going to back them, sue, and all this extra stuff.
Right.
And
so the union fee is like a fee that we pay.
the unions
people?
they pay dues to the union. It's like any job, right? Well,
they
jobs
pay
that have
dues to
unions,
their union.
right?
Yeah, all jobs have unions.
Not all jobs.
Well, not maybe all jobs, but city jobs,
Yeah, city job. I can say that.
they
I
they
can agree
have
to that.
unions, and unions is just like they
Protect
help
you.
protect you.
But the police union is like beyond and above when it comes to certain stuff. Like certain stuff, there is no representing somebody or defending them. But it literally, you can go down the line for everything you've seen the officer done wrong. You're going to always see the union represent them, give them a lawyer,
But
get
you know
them
what?
2-3
They
lawyers,
need
and
to-
defend them.
They need to get those bad apples out the bunch because it's a lot of them. It's a lot of bad apples working on the police force. It ranges from the captain all on down, protecting these legal criminals.
Yeah,
That's what I call them, legal criminals.
and that's what I was gonna say too. Like we really need to go from the top down with the police, with the MPD in general. I can't speak on all other cities, but definitely MPD. We gotta go from the top down because just like I said, going back to my cousin's case with everything, he was murdered and it was four. I'll say 4 or 5 because I can't remember the number off the top. There's a lot going on with it, but everybody was at the scene. Police know exactly who was on the scene. No arrests have been made. So it's like, at what point is it's met not making any sense when, if me and her go kill somebody right now, even though I do it, if she was there, she's still getting charged. So we know everybody who's in the room, but nobody's been charged, and it's been months. And it's just another situation, kind of, different situation, but still the same thing, that MPD isn't doing their job. And it's
Not only
really because
that,
it's
they
black
hide
men.
stuff.
Huh?
They hide stuff. They
Yeah,
only they only
absolutely.
gave me 7 body cameras. It was 35 body cameras out there.
Now see, and that's one of the things we try to change with it. Well, it was changed, but they fighting that as well. And they suing to reverse that. Within 24 to 48 hours, shout out to the Milwaukee Alliance. 24 to 48 hours, the family is supposed to see all associated footage dealing with a police-related death or something like that.
But
And
they
within
try to hide stuff.
But this is the thing, they can't hide it.
Right.
Now they got it like frozen in the litigation right now, I believe, but it was supposed to take effect on the 1st.
Right.
But I deliberately, because we had the same issue with Sterling Brown, where they give you what they want you to see.
Mhm.
Even one of the in custody deaths where Breon Green and a couple others, one of those cases, they showed us a video that was edited, of course, and made it seem like they was doing checks on this guy, and then they just found him dead. But the part that they didn't show us is now 2 officers charged for that. But you showed this to us, to the public, like nothing happened,
Right.
and like everything was steady, and that's what part of the resolution for that standard operating procedure was to address. Do not just give us what you want us to see. You have to release every associated video, car, body, all that stuff.
They should not even have access to the videos. They should have a deposit box where they have to drop it off and some company pick it up, because they shouldn't even have access to the body camera footage.
I guess it pissed me off. They was talking to y'all hostile as hell. I'm like, so y'all want somebody to be calm when they know what the hell going on? They talk to him so calm, but they talking to y'all crazy. I'm like,
Exactly.
what the hell?
Exactly.
Answering the phone, that pissed me off. I was like, hold on.
I've never seen anything like that.
Me
Right.
either. That shit pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie. And I didn't even know y'all from
But
Kenny
did
Payne.
you check it out when they said go to jail? Why would he go to jail?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna go to jail.
He just killed somebody.
But let the roles
The
reverse.
thing about it is that the police, they dirty. Now,
Yeah, they
I'm
is.
going to say that. I'm sorry.
No, you ain't wrong.
They're dirty because all in all, June 14th, they walked in that store and they seen that video. They seen that Bobby had the right way to go.
And one of the cops said that.
And they knew he had
It was
the right
not
way,
Bobby's
and
fault.
They was going to try to cover it up for this guy, whoever this guy is supposed to be. He's somebody, or if he's not, it's just really
No, he's
fucked
somebody.
up that
You gotta
you would
be at
try
that
to
point.
cover up
Listen.
for somebody like. No, I'm just saying. He's
Why
not-
why would they
he's not even
jeopardize
in the
their
United
job
States
to lie for this man if he wasn't working
No, I'm
with
saying.
them?
I'm
Right,
just saying.
right.
If he wasn't, why would you just do that to? First and foremost, why would you do that to someone's family?
Right.
You don't just think that a family not going to try to get the answers of their loved one when they're deceased. People want to know what happened to their
Absolutely.
child, their loved ones when they pass, their last moments. People want to know that.
I feel like on that day too, y'all should go to like all of where the scene happened. Let your balloons off, like show like
did.
positivity.
We did.
He's saying
I'm talking about for this year.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that'd be good, and I had the news pull up to that.
Okay.
For real. Like,
Has media interviewed y'all at all? Because honestly, like I said, when did this happen?
It happened June the 14th last year.
And
Right before
me
Father's
seeing that
Day.
video, which was fairly recently,
Why?
I had never heard of that.
that's why I'm
Never
glad.
heard of
However
it.
you did it, like you can really pay promotions.
because they was going to try to
Oh.
hide it, so we were just trying to get the video and stuff
Right.
together. So we were collecting all the evidence, so
Right.
we wouldn't just be out here like, oh, we're just putting
Right.
anything out there. We don't know
Right.
what we're talking about.
We wanted to show
Right.
video footage of what actually happened, and because they took their time about giving us the footage, it took 6 months. I had to hire an attorney to get what I got from the store. Then it took another 3-4 months to get the body cameras.
But
Right.
if Bobby was at fault, why would we even have to fight to get a lawyer or anything if he was
Right.
at fault for a video that's public records?
And I guess if it
So-
wasn't for the video, like I don't think a lot of people would have seen it for real. Because I didn't know when I seen it on the news, I didn't know what was going on. If it wasn't for that video, I would never would have seen it. So I can only imagine other people.
Because the news wasn't going to talk about it or
Right.
Right.
broadcast it like that because the police already, I'm sure, got in their ear.
Me as a
Like-
mother, I wanted to show the world, and I still want to show the world how they treat us
Mhm.
as being African Americans
And United States citizens.
and United States citizens. I want the world to see how Milwaukee Police Department, how corrupt they are. I want the world to see that, and I want the DOJ to step in, 7th District.
They're gonna have to. They need to be these
And
these
investigate
departments,
them.
Yes, they need to be audited and investigated. And nobody got the balls to push that issue or to do it or to say it. And that they're just gonna have to be what it is. And until outside entities step in, because you see what's been happening with all these other entities, they buddies with everybody. They do favor for favor. It's so clear. They ain't been following the state law. They clearly don't follow the constitutional law. They do whatever they want to. And so there's going to have to be a federal
Investigation.
to step in to correct so much of this. And just like one of the other
We
recent
have
cases,
too many cases here.
it's so ridiculous,
Yeah.
bro. So just to show the level of it. Now this case is egregious, but we have recently had one where they chased this dude, said the dude shot and killed himself, and then his gun went off and shot one of the officers.
And they
What?
really
Come to find out, the
shot.
family, same as them, and this is why self-advocacy, not necessarily needing somebody like me, but they did the work and the legwork themselves and
Absolutely.
put all this together. So kudos to y'all because most people don't know how to advocate for themselves.
Yeah, because
But-
they undermined us. They
Always.
first of all they looked at her like a 62-year-old. They made it look at me like, oh, she maybe be some ghetto baby mama. Not ghetto at all, and very intelligent. But they profiled us and they thought that we wouldn't care enough
Right.
to actually look and to see if Bobby wants to kill himself. But we knew in our hearts that Bobby didn't do that.
I
know
had
in my
just
heart
had
that
a
Bobby
talk-
wouldn't run his life
Mhm.
and destroy his life to destroy our family. Like this destroyed our family. Like my son he'll never be able to go on with a father or son relationship because he's not here no more. So, like I said, they undermined us. They didn't think that we would care about Bobby enough. They thought we would be like,
And
oh,
you-
he was
and-
that far. He ran him like,
And you know what's crazy? The one police officer that I have on that video, he drove past our house because he harassed my son, and he pointed at me and Hope when we was outside, and he was laughing. This was
They do
this
this
was
all the time.
after this
They
was
actually
after
do this
3
all the
months
time.
after my son died. He laughed and pointed at us and laughed. So yeah.
Do you have anything? 'Cause I know y'all going through everything legally right now. Is there anything like any? Trying to think of it. But have you ever brought anything up against him? Just
That
with
particular
harassment?
officer.
Yeah. Or how does that work? I'm not sure.
We got some things going on.
Okay. Understood.
But this is what I was saying about the level of it. They said this dude shot himself, killed himself. This gun went off and hit one of the officers. The family did their own investigation and come to find out MPD shot this dude and killed him. And then they shot their own officer. That's now you
Was this
had
recently?
MPD out there and you had I believe they said the ATF was out there. So you have a federal entity out there with them and allowed them to lie. Like
Damn.
this is so
crazy.
bad. It's so bad. Some of this stuff you can't even believe is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's because they're comfortable with what they do
Yeah.
to our kids.
Gotta be.
They feel they getting away with it, so they're gonna keep on getting away with it. That's why we need the government to. We need an outside entity, like you said, outside FBI, outside DOJ to come in and clean this police force up.
I feel like you strong as hell. Like you doing a damn good job representing your son. He'll be proud of you right now.
Absolutely.
Like you going hard for your son. I know something like something like this happened to me. My mom will go hard for me, like because you know his character.
You know why I'm doing this, because I want to show a lot of mothers that this is what you need to do. Don't let them get away with nothing.
Right.
I also feel like this almost like an Emmett Till moment when you say you want to show the world how corrupt and how they do us.
And that's how
You know
I
what I
feel.
mean?
Absolutely.
And it's just insane that 2023 we still have
Going
these
through it.
moments where we have to show ourselves, you know, in these positions and situations because we had no respect still in this country. We ain't got no respect.
And we built the country.
Mhm. And it don't matter what your income is, where you live at.
It don't.
Nobody deserves to be treated like that and to be automatically counted out like they ain't gonna be able to do shit. They ain't smart enough to figure it out or do what they did. Like they automatically look at everybody like that. You know what I'm saying? But again,
They needed to be exposed, and I felt like exposing them.
Absolutely. Is there something that we can do to like support you? Like, are you speaking somewhere, like coming up, or
I have a lot of things
Okay.
going on
Okay.
in the future. Like I said, you know, I'm in the process of transitioning to a lot of other networks.
okay?
So
Well, I guess our support is always here. If y'all ever need platform, whatever you need us to do, we always look
we
out for y'all.
appreciate everything that you guys have done.
And I guess his son, his greatest warrior, though. That's what y'all got. His son, the grandson, he gonna be our greatest warrior. He gonna always live to him.
Yeah. I'm blessed to have his son.
Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
And we thank y'all for coming.
Thank
You
you
as well, Vaughn. Thank you.
I
no
appreciate you.
problem.
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Vaughn, is there any like resources you can also direct them to?
I mean, they got it together. They got a lawyer, and that was my
Mhm.
thing. I was trying to connect them to some attorneys because at this point, that's what they need
Right.
to get the stuff. Because it's the thing, you can put in an open records request. They can drag it out and take however long they want it. But an attorney, they can't play with you like that. So they've taken a lot of steps already to where they don't necessarily need me. I can help expound and push this story and get it out, connect them to different things. So I'm definitely down to do that as much as all need me to do, and continue to be vocal on that end. But at this point, it's again, the lawyer got to do what they need to do, and then we need to make the push to get these probes and these investigations on a higher level down, which is going to take them, the lawyers, going to take the community, and all of that to make it possible. Because it's not, like you said, it's just corruption and it's wrongdoing on a
Yes,
huge scale.
on different families. Like it's not just going on with our family. Like, and it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be where if something happened, nobody get held accountable for it,
Mhm.
and they just getting away with it. The police not doing their jobs. Like they just letting these people just go freely. Like, and it shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't, because these people out here is destroying people's lives, families. Like, we got all these babies, these children going out without fathers, mothers, and they're not caring. They're not doing their jobs. Like, as a community, we have to do better. We have to come together. We have to stand as one, and we have to stop killing each other.
Right.
Like, we have to stop letting them
Show narrative.
see us
Yeah,
divide us.
yeah.
Like, see us divided, because we really are strong if we all come together and be as
Absolutely.
one. We are.
Absolutely.
So on that note, we're gonna keep you on our prayers. Want to thank you all for coming to the show again.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So the last thing we're gonna do.